Somewhere in the clean land of India, they use the weirdest and most ridiculous methods you could imagine, shouting, climbing on him, and acting like they have no idea what they're doing. Finally, the giant monk named Tang wakes up and he is completely shocked to see that everyone around him has become tiny, like little ants compared to his enormous size. Before Tang can even understand what is happening, one of these tiny people suddenly grabs onto his nose. Instead of being an enemy, this small man reveals himself to be Tang's master. He has come all this way to reward his student for finally reaching his spiritual goals. He accepts a huge, glowing halo and straps it onto his back. Tang smiles proudly, filled with confidence and ego, but the moment doesn't last. The halo suddenly starts to break down and goes completely wrong. But wait, it turns out the whole thing was just a dream. Tang wakes up in fear as loud thunder crashes in the sky. In real life, Tang is not powerful or respected at all. He works at a circus, and it is filled with strange, creepy performers. Tang finally manages to attract a few people to watch him. He proudly introduces his first disciple, Zhu. The crowd is horrified, trying to save the situation. Tang then introduces his second disciple, Wujing. Wujing looks like a bald Frankenstein lizard monster, and he is so terrifying that a nearby baby is permanently traumatized just from seeing him. What was supposed to be an exciting show quickly turns into pure chaos, proving that Tang's life is nowhere near as glorious as his dream. The audience becomes absolutely furious, and soon a mob forms to shame him for his terrible performance. The monk desperately promises that his final act will make up for everything and introduces the one and only Monkey King, Wukong. But the people just watch in total confusion as the legend falls right out of a tree and lies on the ground like a dead frog. Tang tries to beg the crowd for one more chance while coughing so violently that the audience dodges him like they're trying to avoid a COVID-19 infection. A woman with facial hair eventually takes pity on him and whips out some buns as a donation. Fed up with the constant bickering, Wukong finally snaps, charging toward the audience and causing massive destruction. He flies through buildings like a literal bullet, destroying everything in his path while conjuring up a giant, terrifying tornado. Tang realizes the situation is beyond hopeless and runs away immediately before the angry townspeople can make him pay for the ruins. Tang decides it is punishment time. He grabs the monkey demon and whips him again and again, not holding back at all. Wukong screams in pain as the wounds pile up, while the other brothers stand nearby. Nobody dares to step in because Tang clearly woke up and chose violence. We then learn that this is not even the first time Wukong has suffered like this. Long ago, Wukong was defeated by Tang himself, after the monk used the legendary Buddhist palm technique. This powerful move slammed the monkey demon under massive rocks, completely crushing him and trapping him there. Tang somehow finds a way to make things even worse. Every single night, Tang insists on cuddling Wukong while they sleep. Tang pretends that the monkey demon is actually the woman he once loved, holding him close and acting all romantic. For Wukong, this is pure psychological torture. The next morning, Tang wakes up and suddenly decides that it's time to go find some water for his disciples. He casually wanders off into the woods, walking deeper and deeper until he stumbles upon a mysterious mansion hidden among the trees. To his surprise, the door opens and a beautiful woman greets him with a warm smile. She kindly invites him inside and offers him a place to eat. Tang agrees instantly because free food is free food, and Tang suddenly forgets all about danger, completely falling for the trap without a second thought. Upon entering the mansion, Zhu is instantly hypnotized by the beauty of the hosts, and Tang thanks the owner for the delicious meal. However, the woman wants them to stay permanently, telling the monk she can look after them in many other ways. What she doesn't realize is that Wukong has already seen through the illusion. He knows all these pretty girls are actually spider demons waiting to eat his master. The Monkey King demands the woman show her true form, but Tang becomes enraged by Wukong's behavior and pushes his disciples out, scolding them for being disrespectful to such kind hosts. Of course, the girls immediately transform into their true, monstrous forms and surround the monk. With nowhere to run, Tang starts begging Wukong to come back and save his life. Luckily, the monkey grabs the monk just in time, while Wujing pulls out his weapon to take on one of the enemies alone. The other monsters try to snatch Tang away by covering him in thick webs, but Wukong rips the meshes apart and throws the spiders into the air, sending them crashing through the ceiling. But they quickly notice they're surrounded by thousands of tiny spiders falling from the sky. Suddenly, the entire floor crumbles, and everyone falls into a basement that turns out to be a massive spider's nest. Tang decides to look around more carefully. As he investigates further, he suddenly comes face to face with a gargantuan monster, a horrifying creature made from thousands of tiny insects all crawling together. Before Tang can even finish panicking, Wukong charges in at full speed. Without wasting a second, the monkey demon throws a punch that goes straight through the creature's body like it's made of paper. The brutal beating doesn't stop until the massive monster completely collapses and turns into nothing but dust, erased from existence. Tang, however, is not impressed in the slightest. Instead of praising Wukong, he becomes absolutely furious. Tang yells at him for killing the demons instead of showing mercy and giving them a chance to repent. Wukong, on the other hand, feels zero guilt. The group continues their journey, with Zhu pulling his brother Wujing, who has reverted back to a demonic form because of the spider poison. They eventually arrive at a desert city that looks like ugly Disneyland. Tang is amazed by the culture, but the citizens stare in shock at Wu Jing. They are stopped by people carrying flags, and the city's minister, Gong, walks out from white smoke to welcome them. When they arrive at the palace, they walk straight into pure chaos. A huge crowd is dancing like their lives depend on it, jumping and spinning non-stop just to entertain their leader. And that leader? He is acting exactly like a giant baby, pouting, whining, and demanding attention like someone just told him nap time was cancelled. The king points at Tang and loudly demands that he perform magic for everyone to see. Tang, who actually has zero magical powers, calmly refuses and explains that he can't do magic at all. This answer does not go over well. The king instantly throws a tantrum, getting so angry that he orders Tang to be executed on the spot. Faced with the choice between dying immediately or putting on a fake magic show, Tang suddenly finds some motivation. Backstage, Wukong suggests using an obedience talisman to control Tang's movements. Tang is worried this will turn him into a Magic Mike parody and make the women faint, but Wukong ignores him and sticks the talisman on his back. Tang is sent flying onto the stage, jumping around with superhuman skill. The audience goes silent, however, when Wukong starts making Tang do ridiculous, embarrassing dances. The show gets totally out of control when Wukong slaps Zhu, causing the puppet monk to strike the king right across the face. The king starts crying in front of his servants while Tang apologizes profusely. But then, Wukong charges at the king with blinding speed and starts hitting him repeatedly, causing the Majesty to spit fire and reveal his true identity. The Red Demon, Neza, who's likely responsible for all the chaos in the kingdom. The demon attacks with elastic-like punches, but Wukong deflects them and strikes back at Neza's head. The Red Demon becomes furious, conjuring magical weapons and blowing everyone away with a massive aura. Neza throws rotating blades at Wukong, trying to shred him to pieces, and knocks him out of the palace. Wukong kicks the blades back, and Neza flies into the sky, charging up a tornado of flames from his belly. Fire demons jump out of the flames to attack, but Wukong blocks them with a massive shield. Eventually, Wukong is knocked back into the palace, and Neza mocks him by calling him a stinking monkey. This makes Wukong roar in fury. He pulls out the flags from his back and literally lifts the entire palace into the air. He charges at Neza with his magical staff, spinning his flags to repel the fire attacks and eventually overpowering the Red Demon. Wukong launches flames from his eyes, sending Neza crashing to the ground. Wu Jing seizes the moment and freezes the enemy with his breath. Tang then rushes in with a sealing technique, turning Neza into a tiny doll which he gives to Minister Gong, hoping she can reform him. They find the real king in the basement and restore him to the throne. To thank them, the king offers Tang any of his concubines, but Tang is shocked to see they all have very ugly faces and fat bodies. Luckily, they spot one beautiful girl named Bai in the crowd, and the king has her perform a swan dance. Tang is mesmerized because she reminds him of a woman he loved long ago who danced the same way. He falls in love and decides to bring Bai along on their journey. They become very close, but Wukong is suspicious, thinking she's a demon in disguise. He tries using a magical mirror on her and even cuts her wrist to check her blood, but it only proves she's human. Wukong demands they visit her village to see her parents, and to his confusion, they find a village full of people. Still convinced it's a trap, Wukong starts attacking the villagers and Bai's family, claiming they are illusions. Tang tries to stop him, blaming Wukong for always trying to kill the women he loves, revealing that Wukong actually killed Tang's original love in the past. Wukong turns into his full demon form, laughing at Tang's delusions, and begins a rampage to prove everyone is an illusion. Tang tries to use the Buddha palm to stop him, but Wukong overpowers him easily. Seeing Tang in danger, Bai begs the monkey to stop, admitting she is a demon and the town was her magic. Wukong doesn't care. He transforms into a rocky, giant King Kong and seemingly devours Tang alive. As the giant demon roars, Minister Gong appears with the Neza doll and reveals she was the real mastermind. She used Bai to break the bond between the monk and the monkey so she could take revenge for her lost rule. But then comes the twist. Wukong never ate Tang. They knew Bai was a demon all along and faked the whole fight to expose the real villain. Minister Gong orders Neza to attack, but Wukong smashes the little monster into pieces. Gong unleashes a massive shockwave, but Wukong protects Tang with his tail. Wukong chases Gong into the sky, where she summons a giant Buddha statue and a tsunami. Wukong fights back against the waves and the statue's giant palms. Just as the enemy statues trap Wukong in a painful elemental wave, a colossal arm launches from the water, Tang's real Buddha palm. He defeats Gong, who is revealed to be a golden phoenix that escaped from heaven. In the aftermath, they find Bai dying from the battle. Tang helps her transcend, and when she asks if he ever loved her, he admits his heart still belongs to the woman who died long ago. Bai dies with tears in her eyes and turns to dust. Eventually, the team continues their journey to India, with Tang still seeing visions of his true love walking right beside him, forever. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button and stay subscribed. Until the next one, Movie Pals.